What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Dalton. I ride and race bikes, and today we are unboxing something that I have been waiting on for forever. It's the Whoop 4.0. Now, many of you know I've been rocking the Whoop 3.0 for just about forever. I did a detailed review on that one a long time ago, but I've been waiting around to get my Whoop 4.0 since, I don't know, 3 or 4 months now, something crazy. So today I am legitimately not going to be going into details regarding the new data or anything like that. I'm just going to be breaking out the Whoop 4.0, talking about kind of the form factor, compare it a little bit to the Whoop 3.0, and then see if, you know, I'm digging it or if I'm like, whatever, it's not much of an upgrade. So without further ado, let's go ahead and tear into this thing. A little bit different kit than what came with the 3.0, a little more compact. So in the box, there's this like pamphlet. It says upcycle it. I don't know if you guys can read that. Probably not. Anyway, yeah, step 1, freshen up your old device with the included sanitary wipes and Pro Knit band. Give it to a friend and they can download the Whoop mobile app, pair the device, and they get 2 free months. Maybe I can sucker my family members into it, something like that. Now guys, I am a huge advocate of Whoop. I mean, I've been using this thing for almost 2 years now. I just like to validate my feelings sometimes, and usually if you feel like crap, you know you're gonna have low recovery scores and your metrics are gonna be all out of whack. My big thing is just having a little bit of justification, and what it does do for me is things like alcohol, poor sleep, bad sleep cycle, and everything else. When I do know that I'm making habits of doing those things, I see that affect my recovery, and so that's honestly like a big thing that I use Whoop for. It just kind of puts that reminder in my head like, hey man, get your sleep on track. Hey man, stop chugging beers on the weekend. And hey man, you know, you're training pretty hard. Now with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into what's in this little box right here. First, got to get this little pull tab. Taken care of. Folds out. Nice little construction on the inside here. Some thick cardboard or what have you. Particle board maybe. So I ordered the same exact thing. Like, I want it minimal. I want it small and black and just like not that noticeable. Black fits pretty much anything you're gonna wear. It's not like bright red or whatever crazy color. So first impressions here. In here is of course the band itself, right? You can see that, and then you can see the new module right here. Actually looks pretty thick. So if you compare this, I don't know if you can see here. You know what? I'm gonna pull this off. Oh no, whatever will I do? I took my Whoop off. All right, yeah, so just to compare these two real quick, we'll look at the Whoop 4.0. I think you guys will probably see that. Is that working? Is that right there? All right, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, there's the 4.0. You put the 3.0 up next to it. And I think what you guys can kind of see is the form factor and like the shape and everything. This bad boy, the 4.0, is a little bit thicker. It's a little bit shorter. I hope that that doesn't mean it's going to be bulkier on my wrist, because this one is already plenty bulky enough. But this one is a little bit longer. So I'm wondering if maybe the trade-off between the length of where it goes across your wrist versus, you know, the little bit of extra added stack height here on this thing, if that'll make much of a difference. I guess we'll find out in the long run, but yeah, that's my initial first impression here on the 4.0 module and band and everything. Yeah, same band setup here. Pretty sure it's the same clasp setup. Let me see. This was a pain last time. I really had to struggle to open it. Boom, look at that, they fixed that issue. The clasp is so easy. It's just like boop, boom, wide open. I know on the 3, and even still on the 3, opening the clasp is like absolutely insane. So you can get it, but it's so hard. I think it was overkill when they did this, but yeah, nonetheless, they made it a lot easier to deal with on the 4. And then boom, you slide this little piece out before you use it, remove before using. So of course, the little setup guide is here. Setup on the Whoop is pretty straightforward. If you have the 3.0, you probably already know how to do this. Yeah, basically what you do is you download the app, you connect it to Bluetooth. If it's charged, you'll see it, you connect to your Whoop, and then it establishes baselines and everything for you, and you're all set. It's very, very simple setup. I'm imagining it's the exact same as the 3.0, so if you do want to see my full review on the 3.0, check out the link in the description below. That'll give you kind of the idea of why I use Whoop at all in the first place. I went into a little more detail there. So lift this, and we get the battery pack. I will say this battery pack is a little bit bulkier also. It feels better, but also I lose these things. Like, really try not to lose these things. I've lost, between myself and my roommate, we've lost like 2 or 3 of these things. Yeah, try and make sure you hold on to it. I'm gonna go grab the Whoop 3.0 battery pack so you guys can see the difference between these two. All right, guys, I'm back. So yeah, the Whoop 4.0 battery pack right here, same change in form factor pretty much that you see with the 3.0, right? Like I said, one is longer, a little bit thinner. This is a 3.0, a little bit longer, a little bit thinner. 4.0, a little bit shorter, a little bit bulkier, top to bottom. So anyway, yeah, here's the difference between the 2 battery packs. This one has a little teeth here exposed. This one does not have the teeth exposed. Pretty straightforward stuff. This works in the same manner. You will just slide it on top of your wrist onto your Whoop strap when you need to charge it. I usually charge mine at night while I'm sleeping, and that's like the easiest way to do it. And then when you get up to hop in the shower, it's obviously not waterproof, so you pull it off and then jump in the shower, do what you gotta do. The last thing in the package here is going to be the charger. And the charger, they don't give you a block with this thing, not a big deal. But yeah, this charger is pretty straightforward. The last one was like this weird folded in half magnetic thing. This one is not. It's a little bit bulkier. I don't know why they don't make like a full length charger here. I guess it's because the battery pack is so light that it can just hang. So this would just go in here like that, and then boom. One thing I want to note really quickly, look at the end of that bad boy. It is a USB-C, and the old Whoop 3.0 was with the port that is micro USB. So Whoop has gotten with the times and updated that. That's much more convenient considering like all my GoPros and just about everything I use in terms of camera equipment is a USB-C charger now. We'll go ahead and put the Whoop 4.0 on and replace the 3.0, and then I'll get it set up real quick and yeah, see if I'm ready to rock. So when you are gonna put it on, there's this little thing on the bottom here. It's also a remove before use piece on the bottom. And that's the part that's covering the sensor here at the bottom. The Whoop 4.0 does not come charged. I'm gonna go ahead and plug the battery pack in for a bit, get it charged up, and then throw it on and replace my 3. All right, real quick, while we're waiting for this thing to charge, there is one more feature of the Clasp that I wanted to talk about. So on the Whoop 3, this unhooks pretty easily from the clasp on the end right here, and then boom, it just slots back in there. On the 4, I was like wondering if the same happens to this. And so what you can see is the clasp opens, right? Everything's good. This does unhook from your clasp if you need to do that. So it does have that same kind of like hook function that the 3 has. Yeah, it does hook on here on the end of the clasp, and then the clasp clamps back down. Realistically, since the 4 is so much easier to open and close, I would say you just stick with just opening and closing it, and then adjusting, obviously, the band in here with the tightness. And then yeah, once you put it on, you want to make sure it's really snug. So one issue I had with the 3.0 when I first had it, on and I first started using Whoop, was false activities popping up, and it was thinking my heart rate was spiking really quickly, but that wasn't actually happening. So I couldn't figure out what the issue was. Went to the internet and the almighty Reddit, and everybody had figured out that basically that meant that your Whoop was not tight enough. So when you do put the 4.0 on, make sure it's nice and snug and it's pressed firmly to the top of your wrist. If you got the wrist strap, I mean, if you have the bicep strap or whatever, I don't know as in detail, but same concept. What are you doing? Move. 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 All right, I'm back. I just got back from No Hands Wednesday, and I took a couple hours because I knew this needed to charge. First impression, this Whoop 4.0 charger charges like 8 times as fast as the 3.0 charger. So we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna jump out of cycling clothing, it's freaking cold, and jump into regular clothing and take a shower. And then, yeah, we'll set this bad boy up. It's literally as simple as connecting it to your Bluetooth and then taking your old one off of your wrist. Like, the setup guide is so basic. It's like this. It says like open, position, fit it, and then adjust it. That's all this setup guide says. So there's legitimately nothing to it. All right, I changed my mind. I will just go ahead and get this thing set up before I shower, and then I'll just shower with it on, so whatever. All right, we're gonna take this one off. This is a 3.0, and then we're gonna get the 4.0 cranking. So yank this off. Gosh dang it. All right, I'm just gonna unhook it. Like I said, the 3.0 Clasp is gnarly. So this one off, out with the old. Look at that. So first impression of this band on is it's actually a little more comfortable, and it's just as tight. Huh, all right. Yeah, for some reason it feels softer. I don't know if that's like band construction or if that's just because my other one was so old, worn out, and hard, but this one feels good. But now that I have this on, I'm gonna go ahead and get the charger on here. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into my phone here, and then we're gonna check out the Whoop setup. So I'm gonna go here, and first thing I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go to Whoop, and then I'm gonna disconnect the old one. This ends in 955, so I'm gonna forget that device. And then there should be this one out here somewhere. And then, all right, so it says Whoop is disconnected. I'm gonna connect to a device. And then they're showing me this new one, which ends in 002 instead of 955. So, boom, it's connected, it's ready to go. And then let me see if I'm getting current, just to double check and make sure that I'm connected to the right Whoop. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna check my heart rate right here, hit start activity. And yeah, it's at 3% and it's reading my heart rate. So that means we're connected and we're ready to go. That's really all there is to it, folks. If you have the 3.0, it's a really easy setup. If you have not ever used Whoop before, it's also a super easy setup. Just connect to it via Bluetooth. Open the app once you download it, and it's going to say connect to a device, and there you go. Obviously, my heart rate's a little elevated right now because I just got back from a ride, but set up, ready to go. First impressions, I actually think I like the 4.0 better. There are a couple additional metrics that we're gonna see on the 4.0, like blood oxygen content and some other stuff. So I will update you guys on that stuff as we, as I get some experience with it and Whoop has time to give me a baseline on all that information, calculate my VO2 Max and do all those things. It doesn't have anything on me right now because those are two new data fields that it needs to calibrate. And the way that Whoop works is basically it creates a baseline for you, and then after it creates that baseline, then it calculates, what your norm is and if you're deviating high or low. If you're low, it's typically bad recovery. If you're high, it's good recovery, etc., etc. If you guys want to get some more information on sort of what like my Whoop metrics looked like pre-training block, like after I had COVID, and then just after this most recent training block from week to week, and you want to see the adaptations I've made and the baseline adjustment in resting heart rate variability, amongst other things, then check out next week's Wednesday Weekly. It's going to be a cool video. I will link to that in the description below once I get that one out. But yeah, it should be interesting. I'm going to dive into basically where I was at with all these metrics, kind of as I was getting back into my first week of training. I did a mini training block there and got a couple weeks in, and so now I want to show you guys what my baseline looks like after I'm sort of trending back towards fitness and approaching the race season, which coincidentally, my first race is going to be this Sunday. So, with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to check out all these videos coming in the future, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all again soon. Take care.